Excuse me. Okay, okay. Give me a second. Just give me a second. I'll take care of the streaming soon, and we will be up and going. Just need to take a drink. All right, we're live. Yeah, man. I hope y'all had a good Halloween. Now, I had a good Halloween. What? I'm allowed to have a good Halloween. We did nothing, gave out no candy, worked out well. Sunday after the podcast, or not Sunday, Saturday before Halloween, went to a trunk or treat for my nephew and gave out bear paws of candy to all the kids at the trunk or treat. They had fun. That was fine. This is today. And today we have a special one. Now, normally we would start with the Johnny Tobacco Knot from Room 101, but I have something I want to show you. Narakuda from Room 101. Again, wonderful Japanese theming that Matt Booth loves to do. Now, I've not had one of these, but I've been told that they are amazing. So, let's find out if the Room 101 Narakuda really lives up to the reputation. I was told it's in a perfecto shape, which I'll explain what a perfecto shape is in a second. Once we get it out of the paper tube, which is really well made, real good quality paper and print. Now, again, like its fancier ones, comes wrapped in tissue. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had conversations with people that sit there and go, "Oh, the tissue dries out the tobacco, dries out the cigar," but yet this cigar feels pretty good. The Namakubi. I have no idea how to pronounce it. This is what a perfecto looks like. All right, it's round on one end. You could use a punch, but it would be real awkward. Narrow little nib for the foot. These are, again, this is I don't know if this fruit is a Maduro. It's a little leathery looking. Oh well, but this is a Perfecto. And the reason they're called Perfecto is because the man who came up with this style of cigar said this is the perfect shape for a cigar. Perfecto. Makes sense. Like my Johnny Tobacco Nut, this is a Toro because it's long. Longer than a Robusto. Robusto would probably end right about here, where my thumb is. As you can see, the Perfecto is a little bit longer than a Toro, which is fine. There's no problem with that. Hell, the other Daruma I had for afterwards is also a Toro. So now that I've babbled about the shape of the cigar, let's cut the cigar, and then let's move an ashtray closer to me. Microphone. Yes, I use a microphone. It is a podcast after all. So let's give it a nip. Cut the crown. And here's the thing. Okay. If you look very closely, you can see some banding around here. That is the cap, the crown of the cigar. I'm going to nip above the crown. You always nip above the crown. Never nip below the crown because then the binder, the wrapper will come undone. As you can see, just nipped it slightly above the crown. Maybe, no, let's say 2, 3 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters above the crown. So, again, even if it's a perfecto, it's just me. Not everyone has to do this. Not everyone will do this. I like to toast the foot, kind of warm it up, get a little smoke roll. You don't need much. It doesn't need to be much. Okay? And I just noticed my audio is possibly not recording. Hmm. Yeah, that's a problem for future me. Hmm. A lot milder than I thought it would be. but it's good. It's good. First draw, it's got some leather, a little bit of nuttiness to it. No bitter, which is surprising. No pepper. No peppery burn to it. It's not bad. It's not bad. Do I think it's worth $25 a stick? Eh, not really. I don't know if I'd really want to spend $25 on these every time they came out, but they do taste pretty good. Remember what I've always said. Just because a cigar is expensive. I'm gonna take a drink. My voice sounds kind of muddled. Water. I love water. Okay, like I was saying, just because a cigar is expensive does not mean it's good. I have had plenty of cigars that were great, phenomenal, in less than $15. In fact, Punch makes one that I've talked about before. Maybe one day I'll have it on the show called the Knuckle Buster. Little half Robusto, wonderful cigar, $5. I could smoke those every day. Room 101 makes paybacks. I like the payback Maduro, not the Sumatra. And that's less than $10 for most of the sticks you can get for a Room 101 payback. Again, good pricing, good stick, not going to break the bank. However, at $25 a pop plus tax, I don't quite feel this is worth the money. Like, it's good, but it's not like $25 good. Like, I've had Davidoffs, and they typically cost 20 plus. And I've had several Davidoffs that are about $25, $28, and they taste better than that. Like, the late hour, Churchill late hour. Phenomenal cigar. About 25, $30. But I've had Angel Share, Fuente, Opus X Angel Shares, or City of Angels, Lost Cities. And those range $25 to $40 a stick. And those are phenomenal. I'm getting a bit of a chocolate taste off of it that I've let sit. Hmm. Maybe it's one that will grow. Like the flavors will change as it warms up and as I smoke it. Who knows? However, today is a special day for a lot of you over in Britain. Now, I don't celebrate British holidays, I'm an American. And so I make the jokes about it constantly. But there's a poem that goes along with today being the 5th of November. Remember, remember the 5th of November. God, who wrote that? I gotta look that up. Remember. Oh. God, how's that poem going? Who wrote it? God damn, I don't remember who wrote that fucking thing. Oh, Michael Freelander, I think. I have no idea. I have no idea who it is. Remember, remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. For there's a reason why gunpowder and treason should never be forgot. That's the actual quote. And for those that don't remember or don't know why, today is Guy Fawkes Day over in the UK. And it's the day that Guy Fawkes put a bunch of gunpowder under Parliament and tried to blow it up. Now, he got stopped. He did get stopped. which is why the Parliament building's still there. And I believe he was executed. But it was a gunpowder plot took place on the 15th of, or the 5th of November in 1605, I think, when Guy Fawkes and his co-conspirators attempted and failed to blow up the House of Parliament in Britain. And I know that every year over there they have Guy Fawkes Night or Bonfire Night to commemorate it. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I wish I could remember who wrote that fucking quote, but I don't. Actually, I don't know if I ever remembered who it was. But the whole thing is remember, remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. That's the only reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes was his intent to blow up the king in the parliament. 3 score barrels of powder below, poor old England to overthrow. By God's providence, he was catched with a dark lantern and a burning match. Holler boys, let the bells ring. Holler boys. God save the king. And that's the entirety of the nursery rhyme. But point being, he was unhappy with the government, him and his co-conspirators. They weren't thrilled with how the government was being run. And so they decided that we're gonna do something about that. We're gonna change the parliament. We're gonna take care of it. Get rid of the king. And he got caught before they could do anything. And I believe they were all executed. Probably were. It's 1605. They were probably all beheaded or hung. Hmm. This does not have a gunpowder taste, but it does have a chocolate back note on it. And what I mean by back note is when you puff it in, you breathe it in, you draw it into your mouth like you're sucking on a straw because you don't inhale. On the back of your tongue is what we call the back note because that's where the smoke sits last, and as it exits, it traverses the tongue in and out. And you'll get a front flavor, which when you're pulling it in, you'll get other notes while it's in your mouth, and then when you puff out, it'll push out, and you'll get other flavors as it leaves your mouth, and that's what the back end is. The back end is on the exit. Also, it's a very velvety smoke. Like the smoke has a velvety feel in the mouth as as you hold it, which is a good, it is a good thing because I've had plenty of cigars where the mouth feel is just meh, where they don't have much of any flavor. They don't have any much presence in the mouth. And even though it's air with particulate in it, that's what smoke is. It's hot air with particulate. It has a certain feel to it. And when I say air, I don't mean it's like atmosphere. It's not air. It's not like what you normally breathe. There's some of that in there, but there's also a lot of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, other chemicals. And they impart a feel to the mouth with all the particulate. This one has a good mouthfeel. It feels velvety. It's soft. It's not peppery. It's not burny. It's not hot. It's soft. And I like that. Anyways, back to what we were talking about Guy Fawkes Night. Okay. Let me blow my nose real fast. Allergies have been killing me. And it's allergies when the snot is clear. You know, when the drainage is clear, it's just allergies. When it's not clear, then there's a problem. Anyways, back to what we were talking about Guy Fawkes Night. Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Day, Bonfire Night, and Fireworks Night, is the annual commemoration observed on November 5th, primarily in Great Britain. involving bonfires and fireworks displays. Its history began as an event November 5th, 1605, when Guy Fawkes, a member of the gunpowder plot, was arrested while guarding explosives. The plotters had placed beneath the House of Lords. The Catholic plotters, oh, it was a religious fight. Okay, they were against Protestants. Uh, intended to assassinate Protestant King James and his parliament. Celebrating the king had survived people lit bonfires around London. Months later, the observance of November 5th Act mandated an annual public day of Thanksgiving for the plot's failure. So it's kind of like British Thanksgiving, I guess. Kind of like how Canadians, they have their Thanksgiving in October. Americans, we have ours in November. Uh, the British also have theirs in November. But the British are kind of weird, anyways. They conquered like 2/3 of the world for spices they're too afraid to put in their food. Jelly deals is a real thing. Well, all right. So, anyways, within a few decades, Gunpowder Treason Day, as it was known, became prominent in English state commemoration, meaning it became a national holiday. As it carried a strong Protestant religious overtones, it became a focus of anti-Catholic sentiment. That's pretty bad. Puritans derived sermons regarding the perceived damage of poverty of the popery. Ooh, they did not like the Pope. This article reads weird. While during increased risks of celebrations, ruckus. They were quite ruckus, I imagine. Became common. Folks burnt effigies of the popular hate figures such as the Pope, which, come on, man, we all gotta get along. Towards the end of the 18th century, reports appeared begging for money with effigies of Guy Fawkes, and November 5th gradually became known as Guy Fawkes Day. Towns such as Lewes and Guildford were in the 19th century scenes of increasing violent class-based confrontations fostering traditions those towns celebrate still, albeit peacefully now, thankfully. In 1850, changing the attitude resulted in the toning down of much of the day's anti Catholic rhetoric. Observance of the November 5th Act was repealed in 1859. Eventually, the violence was dealt with, and by the 20th century, Guy Fawkes Day had become an enjoyable social commemoration. Although lacking much of its original focus, the present day Guy Fawkes Night is usually celebrated with large, organized events, which probably include a lot of fireworks. I never knew that. Yeah, this is a really good cigar. Warming up. It's picking up better flavors. Okay, next paragraph. Settlers exported Guy Fawkes Night to overseas colonies, including some in North America, where it was known as Pope Day. Those festivities died out on the onset of the American Revolution. Claims that Guy Fawkes Night was a Protestant replacement for an older custom called Samhain are disputed. I have no idea what that is. We'll probably read into that later. And speaking of the American Revolution, I know why. You know why we drive on the right side of the road and the British drive on the left? It has to do with the American Revolution. I shit you not. The reason why we in America drive on the right side of the road comes from the American Revolution. During the Revolution, we were so fervent in our monarchy, anti-British rule that we switched what side of the roads we drove on. Be like, yeah, got our nose at. Kind of like during 9/11 when the French did not want to help us invade Afghanistan and Iraq. We stopped having French fries in some places and had freedom fries. Kind of the same thing. Same note, but freedom fries and freedom toast did not last, and driving on the right side did. Just the way we are. Mm-hmm. Very velvety smell. Feels real good. Water. Okay. Let's read Origins and History of Great Britain. Excuse me for a second. Allergies been killing me. Whenever the weather changes down here in Texas for the first week, I always have bad allergies. Ugh. Okay, Guy Fawkes Day originates from gunpowder plot. We already read that. Mhm. Okay, here we go. James Council allowed the public celebration of the king's survival with bonfires so long that they were without danger or disorder. Okay, this made 1605 first year plot failure was celebrated. Okay. Following January, the days before the surviving co-conspirators were executed, Parliament, at the initiative of James I, passed the Observance of November 5th Act, commonly known as the Thanksgiving Act. Okay, so it's kind of like their Thanksgiving, maybe. The Thanksgiving Act was proposed by a Puritan member of Parliament, Edward Montagu, Montague, who suggested that the king's apparent deliverance by divine intervention deserved some sort of measure of official recognition. They kept November 5th free as a day of Thanksgiving, while the theory of making attendance to church mandatory. No, that's boring. A new form of service was added to the COE, Church of England, Book of Common Prayer for use on that date. Little is known else about earliest celebrations and settlements such as Creswell, Norwich, Nottingham, corporation towns, governments provide music, artillery salutes. Canterbury celebrated the 5th of November 1607 with 106 pounds of gunpowder and 14 pounds of match. 3 years later, food and drink were provided by local dignitaries as well as music, explosions, and a parade made by a local militia. Even less known about the occasion was first commiserated by general public, although records indicate that the Protestant stronghold of Dorchester a sermon was read and church bells rung and bonfires and fireworks were lit. Okay, so yeah, they threw big parties. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I want to take my hoodie off. It's a little warm in here. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, a failed plot to kill the king, Parliament being Protestant, we're like, hey, this is something we celebrate. And a Puritan on board is like, this must have been fine. Okay. So we're learning here. Those of you that are watching and know this, I don't. I know a little. I know a lot from the V from Vendetta comics and movie, but not a lot from education. Excuse me. Early significance. According to historian and author and Anita Fraser, study of the earliest sermons preached demonstrates an anti-Catholic concentration, mystically in fervor, delivered 5 November, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to skip over the anti-Catholic stuff because I was raised Catholic. Unity for the English Protestants. Before the night, occasionally noticing fever during events leading up to the English Royalists, being the Russian parliaments became the Catholic plots. Okay, this is wow, extremely anti-Catholic. Um, yeah, I don't think I can read this on stream. Some of this is very anti-Catholic. Protests, people injured. Jesus. 1903, Charlotte Otmore recorded a ditty. Don't you remember 5th of November? It was. Oh, we already read this. Oh wow. I can't read this on chat on stream. Um, yeah. Yeah. Go to the Wikipedia article, songs and later developments under the article for Guy Fawkes Night. Oh, yeah. Uh, poke him in the eye, put him on a chimney pot. Wow. This is yeah. That's quite descriptive. We're not going to go into that. We are not going into that. Nope. This is, wow, I had no idea that Guy Fawkes even had this. Guy Fawkes Day has such big history. Um, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is that is horribly violent. Um, yeah, I can't read most of this on chat on stream. A lot of this is pretty bad. Similarities with other customs. Historians have often suggested that Guy Fawkes Day served as a prominent replacement for the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, or calling ye off pagan events. Can't pronounce Gaelic or stuff like that. I'm sorry. Dissolved, transformed into All Hallows Eve, All Souls Day, All Souls Day, Golden Broad Scottish Temper. James Fraser suggests that Guy Fawkes Day exemplifies the re recurrence of old customs in modern shapes. David Underdown, writing in 1987, where it revealed that Riot and Rebellion viewed gunpowder, treason, and as a replacement for Halloween. So it's like they were trying to get rid of Halloween. Okay, I can see that. Because, a lot of religions build off other religions that they're replacing. So, Yule came Christmas, stuff like that. Jesus, people are horribly violent in British history. Okay, in other countries. Let's see what other countries do for Guy Fawkes. Gunpowder Treason Day was exported to settlers to colonies around the world, including members of the Commonwealth of Nations such as Australia, New Zealand, Canada, various Caribbean nations, and Australia, Sydney. In Australia, Sydney, Australia, sorry, I read that weird, founded as a British penal colony in 1788, saw one instance of parading and burning Guy Fawkes' effigy in 1805, while in 1833, 4 years after the founding, Perth listed gunpowder treason as a public holiday. By the 70s, becoming less common in Australia. It was just a simple occasion to set off fireworks with little connection to Guy Fawkes. Most were set off annually at a night called Cracker Night, which would include the lighting of bonfires in some states. Had their firework night or cracker night at different times of year, which being let off on the 5th of November most often when it was the Queen's birthday. After a range of injuries, involving fireworks. Fireworks night and the sale of fireworks were banned in all states and territories except the ACT Act by the early 1980s, which saw the end of cracker night. Wow, that's depressing. Yeah, here in North America, yeah, nobody really celebrated in America after 1776. Fell out of favor. Eh, yeah. So that is kind of the history of Guy Fawkes. Wow, I never knew. I had no idea. Thank you, Wikipedia. You're always so helpful. Always so helpful, Wikipedia. Always. Well, so happy Gunpowder Day, Bonfire Night, whatever you want to call it, Guy Fawkes Day, to those that celebrate. For those that don't, happy Sunday the 5th. Really good cigar. It is actually now worth $25. It warmed up halfway through. It has a phenomenal leather, chocolatey flavor. Mild notes of raw cocoa, like bitter chocolate. It has warmed up. I can see why they charge $25 for it. Yeah, so I'm changing my opinion. It may actually be worth 25. It might be, but we'll find out by the end. We still have half to go. Excuse me. Allergies allergies are terrible. So yeah, that is the history of Guy Fawkes Day. But as I don't celebrate it, meh, either way. No, this is a really good cigar. And I might actually pick up a box later the month. Later this month, I'll probably pick up a box. It looks like it comes in a box of 10, which means I will ration them out to where I only smoke them on Sundays with these. Because these only came in a box of 10. And I only smoke these on Sundays. Giant Tobacco Nut came in a box of 20. I smoke one usually every Sunday, and I might smoke one throughout the week. So, but at home, I have a bunch of each bun Habanos that are my daily, and I love them. And they're not expensive, they're not. Although, on a side note, I need to get some sort of like badges or shit for y'all to use or emotes, but I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to design it because I'm not that good at it. I also need to build a widget for the Streamlords for if someone actually ever buys fucking merch. Yeah, I've got one for follow, one for subscription, one for donation, one for bits, and one for host. But I don't have one for what's it called merch. Which I have merch. You can buy the merch. Don't have to. It's no way required, but you can if you want. That first band is off. Some cigars have two bands. They have the name and then they have this. A little other band down there. Always says date. This is a limited and it's for 2003. So I don't imagine these are going to last too long. I imagine they're probably going to not make them next year. Or they'll bring it out as a release. Who knows? God damn. Y'all can see that, right? Yeah. Ah, man. Oh well. Scars are scars. Scars, good. Scars, inevitable. Really good stick. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Sorry, I thought somebody was going to try to come in that door. Go figure. Oh, man. It is. It has been a pretty good week. I got a bunch of leather in from leatherguys.com. Not sponsored, unfortunately, but they sent, I bought a bunch of leather from them and it all showed up and it all is in phenomenally good shape. Like most of it's in large pieces, which I can definitely make very good use of. Wednesday, the workbench shows up, so I'll put that together, and maybe Thursday we'll make some projects together. Maybe not. Who knows? I'm still waiting on some dies to show up. Yeah. Hot weather. But I have a lot of really cool ideas for projects. I ordered some custom dies for a wallet and for a slim wallet, which I think will look cool. And yeah, we've got some stuff in the works. We will have weather streaming soon, hopefully. Hopefully. You know, which will be cool. You know, y'all can hang out while I do other work on my downtime. Make wallets and cigar cases because I can. Maybe because I hate cutting stuff by hand. I'll order some other custom dies to make other projects that you know, we can all hang out while I put them together, cut them out, work on them. Maybe I'll learn something from the weather stream. Like maybe you will learn, how to make a cigar holder. This is a 3-stick holder because it holds 3 sticks. It slides into the top half. I've got a custom die coming to make ones that are similar to this, not just like this. I don't have access to this print of leather because it's by Drew Estates and it's probably proprietary. But the basic shape is universal. You have the top half, which is just a big empty, and then you have the bottom half. The bottom half is slightly smaller, fits in here. But this one's molded because it's got these creases on both sides to divide, to hold 3 cigars, 3 sticks. And so, the ones I'm making aren't going to be as tall as this on the bottom half. They're probably down to here because that's the pattern I prototyped and came up with. And so, if it's up to here, instead of closing down like this, they'll close a little higher up, more like that. But they'll be hand cut, not hand cut. They'll be die cut, but they'll be hand stitched and treated and all that, molded and everything by hand. Add value to it. And the wallets will, of course, be little slim wallets because that's the only die I can get right now. But as time goes on, I'll get other dies for other projects. Things I can do with scrap, like coasters, key rings, and shit like that. Stuff people may want to see, may want to buy. But again, that's neither here nor there for now. That's a later date problem. But yeah. So, how are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are doing good. I've had a good week. Next week's looking to be just as good. Really is. Tasty. You know, it's kind of interesting how cigars work because when you get a cigarette, when they grow tobacco for cigarettes, they just dry it and then they devein it and then they dice the shit out of it. And then in the process they somehow remove everything out of it, like most of the nicotine. And then they spray nicotine on it to get a consistent amount of nicotine, a bunch of other preservatives and shit. Because nobody puts their cigarettes in a humidor. They're always in a package in your pocket where they don't stay fresh. And so they add preservatives and that adds flavor. With cigars, because of how they're produced and how you store them, there's less preservative to it. In fact, I don't think there's any. They don't really add anything to a cigar other than toppings, and that's if it's a flavored or infused cigar. Plain cigar is just tobacco. All the way through. From the filler to the wrapper. Because you have three layers. You have a roll up of filler. That's one. Then you have a binder, which you use to bind it. And then you have the outer leaf, the perfect leaf, the flawless, blemish free leaf. And that's the wrap. And there's nothing else in there. And that's what makes cigars so different. That's why cigars have such a different flavor. But everyone has a lot of people have a weird connotation about cigars, like, oh, they're so strong. Yeah, if you inhale it, you're not supposed to inhale it. You're not. Mm, You're not supposed to inhale a cigar. You're supposed to just puff them. Puff, puff. That's it. And so, while, yeah, I mean, if you inhale it, you're probably going to get a lot of nicotine. But you don't inhale it, so you don't. And I can go days, weeks, hell, I've even gone months without smoking a cigar. Because you're not getting as much nicotine, you're not getting, in theory, enough to get addicted. So some people can go months without smoking, and that's cool. That's fine. I can go days, weeks, even months. I've gone a year or two without smoking with no problem. You know, and that's because you don't inhale it. Now, granted, you do pick up some nicotine through your mouth and your tongue through osmosis, but it's not like it is when you're inhaling a cigarette or a vape, which I think it's funny that people are like, oh, vaping, it's so healthy, it's so safe. It's like, I don't know, man. Those coils are made of metal and you're inhaling vapor from those. What's to say some of that metal is getting picked up into the vapor when you're heating it up to vape? You know, what are the odds? I'm not saying cigars are healthy. No, they're not. You're still running the risk of nose and throat and mouth cancer, but you're not inhaling it. So I suppose it's a little safer for the lung, but probably not. Yeah, nobody in chat, man. Oh, at least one person would have dropped by. Oh well, doesn't matter. People will come when they come. Oh man, oh man, last week has been good. This week hopefully will be just as good, but hopefully not as busy. Like I'm hoping it won't be nearly as busy because you can't have two busy weeks in a row, man. That's hell. It's like when I was working retail. God, I'll never work retail again. I hated working retail. People would have a bad day, right? Like somebody's boss would have a bad day. Well, that boss would give the managers a bad day. The managers would give the employee a bad day. And then they'd come to the gas station and give you a bad day because they're having a bad day. And it's like it just rolls downhill. People treat gas station workers, and they treated me like crap sometimes because they're having a bad day. And it's like, look, man, I'm here for slightly more than minimum wage, standing behind a register. I really don't want you to come in and start yelling and screaming at me because we're out of whatever you wanted, or we don't carry that product, or you think what we charge for cigarettes is too much. But you know what? We don't set the pricing. Most of that money's tax, anyways. It really is. A lot of cigarette prices tax. Or, like we wouldn't have their beer. Okay, I'm sorry we didn't carry this craft beer that you love. We're a gas station. We have a contract with a wholesale vendor. for each of the major brewing companies. And if they don't have it, we can't get it. So, not my problem. But yet people would come in and scream. I remember uh, one time I'm working Black Friday at a gas station. And of course, this is back in the day when Black Friday, everyone was out because not everyone was buying online. Stores didn't run Black Friday specials online for whatever fucking reason. This is early 2000s. The amount of people that came in demanding that we sell them shit for a discount because Black Friday's a thing was insane. Hell, I remember one of the gas stations, we had that gas station branded stuff like Toy Cars or something. I think it was Toy Cars. And it was branded for that gas station because we sold that kind of, that company's gas. And this one lady came in and she is demanding that we sell her this car for like a third of the price because this other gas station, which was a competitor and sold a different brand of gasoline, was selling the same car for less. It's like bullshit, lady. This is marketed for this gas station's brand of gas. And I know that other gas station you're talking about is not selling this car because it's proprietary to this gas station brand. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Or we'd get scammers. God, we got so many scammers. Oh, the pump didn't pump any gas. Really? Let me go check the Vita root system. What? Yeah, the big thing in the back measures tank volume. Yeah, it also tells us how much gas each pump has pumped. So your gas pump pumped all $15 worth of gas into your Tahoe. Don't be cheap. Or people would come in and complain that, oh, your gas pump, the money started before the gas started. Okay. One, that was a competitor that had a big problem with that. And two, you don't tell me there's nothing I can do. You can tell my manager, and all she can do is tell you the same thing I'm going to tell you. You're in Texas, you would call Department of Agriculture and talk to the Bureau of Weights and Measurement. They're the ones that would handle it. Because me working at the gas station, I can't do shit. I literally can't do anything. I'm sorry. I know you want me to give you money, but I can't. Or people would come in and prepay with a credit card or debit card, and they wouldn't understand that when you prepay with a credit card or a debit card, it didn't just pull that all that money out. It put a hold for the amount that you prepaid. Then, once you hang up the pump, it charged for the amount that you pumped and released the hold. No, at no point, like if you prepaid for 20 and your car only took like $18, at no point did it charge you the full 20. It put a hold for 20, but as soon as you hung up that pump and it processed for that $18, $2 remainder on the hold was released. You were fine. The number of people that would come in and demand I give them their change off the pump, and it's like, but you paid with a card. I can't do anything. It goes back to the card. It was insane. Like, people just treat you like crap at those jobs. That's why I never want to work retail again. It's like the few times I've sold paintings, sculptures, as an artist, it costs so much because it takes me time to do it, but people are like, oh, I'll pay you with exposure. You're going to pay me with exposure? No, I don't think so. No. You're going to have this painting in your house. How are you going to expose more than like a handful of people to it? Huh? How? It doesn't work that way. You need to pay me. You need to pay artists. Don't sit there and go, oh, I'll pay you with exposure. No, pay them what they want. Pay them a fair price. Yeah, you can haggle a little, but if they're charging, $100 for a small painting and you want to get it for 20, no, no, walk on. You ain't getting it for 20, maybe 90, maybe 95, but not 20. And I've had people try that shit all the time, and I hated it. Or even with my day job, I have people emailing me going, I heard you work with this artist. I want you to work with me. When I say artist, I mean local, not like some amazing, super independent, you know, freelance audio engineer who makes a ton of money. No, no. I have steady clients and I have regular contract work, which I enjoy. I have a few people, a few companies that I have big contracts with, and that's my bread and butter. But when I get some SoundCloud rapper that, I helped one of his friends, and his friend went on to become not just local, but state recognized and is touring the state and growing their brand, and they're starting a national tour. Just because I worked with them doesn't mean I'm going to work with you. What they want, that artist that, is now going on their state tour and they're working on a national tour and they've put out a few albums, they paid me a lot of money to do what I do. And it wasn't like a 1 day thing. It was like 3 to 6 months, and they paid me for that. But when I have these little SoundCloud artists that think that they have something because maybe 100,000 people follow them on SoundCloud and Instagram, and they're like, "I'll pay you an exposure." It's like I don't know. Exposure doesn't pay my fucking bills. I charge. I charge what I charge so I can make a living. I'm not getting rich, but I'm living comfortably because one, I know how to budget, and two, I know my value for my talent, for my trade, for my skill. I know what I'm worth. And audio engineers in Texas don't make a lot in comparison to like other industries. Like I have a friend that's a plumber. He makes millions because he owns a company that he started, and after 10 years, he's got 40 trucks or 30 trucks with 40 employees, and he just sits in the office holding his hand out and collecting cash. He worked up to that. 20 years he's worked to that point, and I'm happy for him. But audio engineers, we typically only make about 40 to 60,000 a year, and I'm comfortable where I'm at with that. But I also have a side hustle. I've got the leather business, which I'm starting back up. But I also drive for Uber on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights to help supplement income because I'm an adult and I'm willing to work. You know, that's just how it is. I don't want to go back to working retail. I never want to work fast food again. I did that in high school. No, no, I'm never dealing with that again. I've got money set aside for retirement. I've got long-term savings. I got emergency fund, that I put money into in case my car breaks down. For whatever reason, I'm unable to work for an extended period of time. I have money set aside for shit like that. You know, I put money aside for when I have money set aside to buy another car for when my car hits the point where it's more expensive to repair it than it's worth. That being the point is that as an adult, you need to do that. You know, you can't live hand to mouth as an adult and be an adult. You know, you have to be willing to step up. You need to take care of things. You can't always buy the newest shoe. You can't always buy the hottest fucking outfit. No, sometimes you have to just wear what you have. You know, you don't have to go eat at the best restaurant every night. You can eat at home. Trust me. Learn to cook 5 dishes. Learn to cook 5 things really well, and you'll be okay. You know, it's okay to eat a sandwich for dinner. It's okay to eat a bowl of cereal for dinner. I've done it as an adult, both out of necessity and desire. It's okay, you know? Like I said, there are times I've eaten a bowl of cereal for dinner out of desire because I wanted to. Nobody could tell me not to. And there's times I've eaten cereal for dinner out of necessity because I didn't have anything else and I was trying to stretch what I had till payday. You know? Wow, this stick really is worth 25. I can see the price point now. It has definitely evolved as I've smoked it down. But no, like I said, as an adult, you need to budget your money, and you know, you need to make what you have. If you make, 1,000 a week, that's a $4,000 a month. Okay, about half of that's probably going to be housing. A third of, what's left of that other half, probably half will go to necessities: electric, water, sewer, trash, car insurance, or bus pass, depending on how you are. Maybe a car payment, but that still leaves you a quarter. Of that quarter, cut that in half. That's your food budget for the week, you know? And that's your food budget. I mean, it's harsh, but that's how it is. The other half, save part of it, put it in savings. You know, once you have enough in savings, just leave it alone. That's your emergency money. Car breaks down, gotta get it fixed. That's how you do it. It's really, really simple. It is that simple. You don't need to spend money if you don't have to. Learn to fix shit. That's the other thing. Learn to fix things, and you will save money on paying for repairs. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you got to learn to fix the screen on your phone. No. But if your car won't start, learn to diagnose what's wrong. Is the battery dead? Will it start with it takes a jump? Does it make the noise it makes before it starts that noise? Then maybe the starter's no good. Maybe the solenoid's no good. Maybe you should learn how to fix and replace those. Does your car die when it's, running? Maybe your alternator's gone bad and you need to replace it. Maybe a belt is broken and you need to fix it. I'm not saying you need to learn how to rebuild a fucking transmission. No, but basic things like doing your own brakes, your own oil changes, stuff like that will save you a lot of money in the long run. Hell, a lot of oil change places will let you drop off milk cartons full of used oil because I've done it, you know? I'm not saying I'm a super fucking mechanic, but I've worked on my cars. Hell, the only reason I take my car to the dealership, oil changes, right? One second. The only reason I take my car to the dealership for oil changes is because my car uses full synthetic. And to do it myself would actually be about $70. The dealership usually sends me a coupon, oddly enough, about the time I need an oil change, for $50. Okay, $50. It's cheaper to have them do it than for me to do it, even after tax and fees. Usually comes out to like $70 anyways. It's a convenience at that point. It really is, you know. But I know how to fix a tire. I know how to fucking change tires. Oh, in auto tech, I took in high school. I took auto tech, so I learned how to fix most things on a car. Why? Because as an adult, you're not always gonna have the money to pay someone to fucking change your brakes. You're not always gonna have money for someone to, fucking change your tire to a spare if you get a flat, or check your oil, change headlights, tail lights. Now, on my car, it's a pain in the ass to change out the headlight because there's a module since it's a Volkswagen. Each headlight has a module, and what it does is when you turn the car on, the headlights go up, down, left, right, and they sweep. And that's the module coming in because when I turn, the headlights turn. Right? Go up a hill, they go up a little. When I go down a hill, they go down a little. That module has to be replaced occasionally. And to get to the module, you gotta take the fucking bumper off the car. And you gotta take the little grill insert out. You gotta pull the headlight assembly out. And that makes it easier to change the headlight if you do that because there's this much room for a light bulb this big that you gotta stick in there. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. And it was so much cheaper to learn how to do that myself as opposed to paying someone to do it. Now I paid someone to do it, but the shop I took it to was cool enough to let me watch them do it so I could learn how to do it. The times I've had to call a plumber as an adult, they were willing to teach me how to fix what I called them to fix. They were okay with that, you know, and these are good skills to have. Now, certain things, yes, I'm going to call a licensed professional. Major electrical work, I'm definitely calling a electrician. I want someone who's licensed and bonded and insured. In case anything fucking goes wrong, I can go to him and go, hey, fix it. Plus there's laws in some states that limit what you can and cannot do on your own. Well, some home warranty and home insurance companies won't cover DIY electrical and plumbing for good reason. Your house burns down and you fucked up. It's your fault, not theirs. That's the point. You need to, you know, understand the limits and limitations. I'm not saying everyone needs to become an electrician or plumber, but god damn it, we need them. Which is another point. Not everyone should go to college. Some people would be better off going to trade school, you know? But if you can save money learning how to fix certain things at your house or how to install certain things, go for it. A dishwasher is not hard to install. It's not. A garbage disposal is not hard to replace. A sink drain is not that hard to snake. A P-trap is not hard to clean under a sink if it's clogged. A toilet can be plunged. And you can install valves and flapper valves and all that on your own. You can, you know. You can learn all sorts of really handy things that will help you in life just from a little effort. And it'll help save you money down the road. But I run into so many people that have no idea how to do what I would call basic tasks that, you need to learn as a homeowner. Sorry, my head is itchy. And my bald spot is cold. It's actually cold, But no, there are certain things you should learn how to do on your own. You should learn to do, to do so you don't have to pay someone else. And like I said, how to change a tire, a flat tire. You should always have a spare. You know, every car needs to come with a spare. They don't need a full size spare. Well, maybe trucks do, but like a sedan, like my little Jetta, it has a donut. Doesn't need a full size spare. And the number of times I've had to change my fucking flat, my own flat, on the side of the road at night in the dark or in the rain, I, I, I couldn't tell you how many times I've had to do that. But it was always cheaper than having to call a tow truck to do it, you know? And hell, I remember one time I got a flat, I had a tire blowout after I'd had surgery on my arm and I couldn't use my left arm. And I got super fucking lucky that some random dude from TxDOT changed my tire for me. Dude wouldn't even take a 20 as a tip. Like, he did it for free. And I asked him, how much I earn? He's like, no, it's free. The state does nothing. Okay, well, here's $20. He's like, no, no. I don't, I'm not doing it for a tip. Dude fucking changed my tire in the rain at night on the side of an almost empty highway and wouldn't take a tip. There are people like that in this world. People like that need to exist because they're good people. And I think good people deserve rewards. And I'm still to this day surprised he didn't take a 20 as a tip with me saying thank you. Arms in a sling, I have staples in it, it's visible. Dude wouldn't take a tip, you know? And there have been times where I've helped people and I didn't take a dime because it gave me this warm, fuzzy feeling right about here. I don't know if it's heartburn or like just a sense of being good. I don't know. But I kind of like that feeling. I had a friend who we're driving around and his headlight went out in his little SUV. And he was so freaked out that he'd have to take it to the dealership, pay them a bunch of money to do it, and he wouldn't be with a car for a day or two. It's like, dude, just go to an O'Reilly or an AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts. Let's get the headlight. I'll change it for you. It's like, how would you know to do that? It's like, because it's easy and I'll teach you. And I taught him how to do it. And he did it. And I hope he knows how to do it. And he's still doing it to this day. Like the time he had a flat tire, he thought he'd have to call his dad and get a tow truck. And it's like, no, dude, let's just do it. Changed the tire for him, showed him how to do it. We were at the beach for spring break. He had his radio blaring. Battery went dead, couldn't start the car. He starts freaking out. It's like, dude, I'll be right back. Walked down the beach with a beer, found someone in a truck, went, hey, if you give me a jump start, I'll give you a beer. Came to the truck, or his little SUV, jumped it, wouldn't even take the beer. Told us to have a good day. You know, there are still good people in this world, and they still do nice things for free because that helps make the world go around. You know, that was a good cigar. Now we're going to smoke the Durama, which I do love the Duramas. These are incredibly good stick. I love them. A little band came off in this. Oh, but, like I said, people learn to do simple tasks around their house, they'll generally be better off. You know, you don't need to pay for someone to come and hang your TV. You just need a stud finder and know that most studs in the US are 16 off center. 16 off center means 16 inches off the center of the stud. If you find one stud, you can measure 16 over, odds are there's another stud. You want to hang your TV high enough, that's fine. Measure where you're going to put it. Make sure the studs are, where I said they are. Use a level, make sure the holes are level for the mounting bracket. Drill your holes, mount the brackets, put it up. There you go. Mmm. Mmm. So tasty. Like I said, if you learn to do stuff around your house yourself, you'll save yourself money, you know? And that's the important thing about being an adult. It's learning to save money. I'm 40. I'm an adult. I'm a grown ass man. I'm middle aged. I'm 40 years old. Turned 40 in July. And the amount of things that I've learned to do myself for my own car or around my house have saved me so much money. Installing chandelier, a light fixture, ceiling fan, changing out a bad socket, upgrading a socket to a GDI socket or GDF socket or whatever it is. Saved me tons of money. Sink gets clogged. Well, go under it, put a bucket under the P trap, open the ends, let it drain to the bucket, then pull it out. If you have to, you can go rent a snake and snake your own drain. You know, most of the time it's just a bunch of hair. It's hair and beard or your head. It gets washed down the drain. You can clean it out with a bristled brush and hot water. Most of the time, that's what opens the drain up and fixes the problem. You don't need to go and buy Drano. It, although it's a lot more convenient and less nasty to pour Drano down the drain, dissolve the blockage in the P-trap than it is to fucking clean it yourself. But you don't have to spend money if you don't need to. You know, your own faucet. You can change your own faucets in your house. You can change the cartridge for your shower. So it's hot and cold water. You can do the same thing with faucets. You don't need to call a plumber to do that. You don't. If you learn to do it, hell, you don't have to even call someone to show you how to do it. YouTube has millions and millions upon millions of videos showing people how to do this shit. The joke persists. The guy with the Indian accent teaching you how to fix your computer on YouTube is such a thing because tons of videos exist from all over the world in all sorts of languages on how to do simple things around the house, how to fix something, so you don't have to pay off at the butt to have it done. You know, and that's the important thing. As long as you learn to do that, you'll be okay. You know, you don't need to spend money all the time. And I have friends that they're wealthy, and like my buddy Mark dropped out of high school when he was 16. His girlfriend, he got her pregnant. She was 17 and about to graduate high school. He dropped out. He was about to turn 17. He was 16, almost 17. And he dropped out. And he worked so that she didn't have to, so she could finish school. And he got lucky. His parents and her parents were very supportive because he stepped up and took responsibility. And he worked to support her and help buy things, to buy things for the kids. And then after she graduated high school, she took a gap year before going to school. And he went to trade school and they got married. And he worked as a plumber for another company here in town for 10 years, eventually becoming a master plumber. And then he opened his own company, his own business. And after 10 years of him owning his own business and growing, they live in a very nice house in a very nice neighborhood. Their kids go to a very nice school. And he makes millions because he owns the company, but he's got 40 employees and 30 trucks all over the city, and not just the city, all over the area, working. So, like I said, the benefit of an education. Now, he recently went back and got his GED, which I think is funny, but he got it when he was 29. Or he got it when he was 39. He got it last year and got his GED. But he never went to college. He went to trade school right out of after dropping out and his now wife graduating high school. He went to trade school and they're doing very well. The point being is that learning a trade is always a good thing. You don't have to go to college. If you don't have the best grades, don't worry about college. Go to trade school. Learn a trade. You know. Now, I'm not saying you should drop out of school. No, 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 no. At least graduate high school. That makes life a hell of a lot easier for finding a job if you have a high school diploma. It shows you know math and crucial skills that you'll need. But if you learn a trade, you'll never go hungry. You know, a friend of mine from high school who was an auto tech with me, he graduated high school and then he went to trade school. Now he's a diesel mechanic and he makes damn good money as a diesel mechanic. You know, I have another friend that went to trade school, became a framer, makes good money. I've got a friend that became an electrician. He makes good money. I have several friends that became welders, one right after high school and one after they determined that, college wasn't the thing for them, went to trade school and they're welders and they make incredibly good money. One of them's a marine welder. He welds boats, stuff like that for marine use out in the ocean, and he makes insanely good money. I have a friend that's a mortician and he makes very good money. You know, he's a mortician funeral director. He makes good money. But I have friends who went to college and they do good. And I've got friends who went to grad school and became lawyers or doctors, and a couple that became professors, and they make good money. So you can do good if you go to college. You can do great if you go to college. You can also do badly if you go to college. A lot of people out there with degrees that aren't marketable, either just based on the degree or for where they live. Like one of my buddies got a degree in business, bachelor's in business with a minor in marketing. And unfortunately, we live in the fifth biggest city in the country. There are almost 4 million people in this city. and a lot of them have the same degree as him. It's not a marketable degree. It's not. And they also then want to understand that working call centers is a business degree job. It is. You're not going to start off like middle management, like, living the life of Riley in middle management. No, you're not. People with masters in business get those positions. But I guarantee a bunch of them work their way up from call centers. You know, you don't always get like this awesome job right out of college, depending on your degree. I got a friend who got a minor in business or got their business degree, but had a minor in international business. They work for the fucking UN. The UN paid for them to go to grad school. I have another friend that got a bachelor's in linguistic arts. They got a job at the UN as a linguist, as a translator, because what they do is they translate from one language to another. So if somebody's up at the stage speaking English, they translate it to that language. Now they speak a handful of languages, so I'm going to use the ones that I know. Somebody's up on stage speaking Spanish, me llamo Jace. They translate it to English for one of the English speakers. My name is Jace. Or if it's somebody speaking French, Je m'appelle Jace. My name is Jace. Now, if they're translating from French to Spanish, they don't. They've told me how they do it, and I've tried it myself, and it actually does kind of work. It's helped me increase my ability to speak Spanish and French to where you have someone in Spanish, someone speaking in Spanish, and you're translating to the French dignitary or diplomat. You don't go, me llamo Jace, my name is Jace, je m'appelle Jace. No, what they do is they go, me llamo Jace, je m'appelle Jace. They go right to the other language. And it took them a while to master that. And I'm getting better at it, but I can see how that would be a massive benefit to them because it's faster than translating it from Spanish to English to French, you know, because it takes time. You know, me llamo Jace, my name is Jace, je m'appelle Jace. That takes time. But me llamo Jace, je m'appelle Jace, so much quicker, so much easier. And that's the thing. Languages are always a massive benefit to learn. If you can speak more than one language, you can work good jobs. There are plenty of good jobs out there for people who are bilingual or trilingual or multilingual. There's a ton of them. There really are. You know, I mean, geez, if you can learn a foreign language and you can become, you know, fluent in it. I don't mean you need to be native fluent, but if you can become fluent in it, odds are you'll be doing better. Let's be honest. Let's be very, very honest. Call centers, even a call center job, which might pay, 10 an hour for, a normal person. If you speak more than one language and it's in their marketable demographic, like Spanish here in Texas, you get 15, 20 an hour, you know? That's the thing. An education doesn't always beget an income. You have to have something marketable. You know, history majors, they go on to teach. Like there's the old joke, right, that we used to use in college, and it's an engineering major will want to know how it works. An architectural major will want to know what it will look like. An accounting major will always want to know how much it will cost. But an art major will want to know who had the large grande, who had the grande frappuccino. I mean, it's a stupid joke, but it holds truth. Excuse me. It's a stupid joke, but it does hold some truth. An engineer will always want to know how it will work. An architect will want to know what it will look like. An accountant will always want to know how much it cost. And art majors, unless you get a terminal degree with an art degree, or you get lucky and people really like your work, Work is going to be hard to find. You know, I mean, hell, I have a doctorate in divinity. Well, an honorary doctorate in divinity. That because I did a bunch of low cost weddings during COVID. Officiated a bunch of weddings, and the ULC, United Lutheran Church, where I got ordained, gave me an honorary doctorate in divinity. Ooh, I can call myself doctor. I do kind of as a joke on Twitter. But behind the doctorate, I don't put MD because I'm not a medical doctor. And I don't put PhD because I don't have well, I have a PhD, but it's an honorary. So I put DDHC. DDHC is doctorate divinity, but that HC is honorary casa, meaning honorary. Mean it's worth less than the paper it's printed on, but it's fancy. It looks nice. One day I'll get it framed, put it on my wall. But it's an honorary degree. Now, there are some people I hang out with that tell me I can use an honorary degree to take a government job as a assistant director or director position. I'm like, good God, that's terrifying. That is terrifying. One, I'm a libertarian. I don't want to work for the government. And two, the fact that I could get a high paid position within the government with an honorary degree that ain't worth shit, it's kind of terrifying. You know, like, what's the point? The government is kind of funky if they do that, you know? But it is what it is. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back. So, just stick around. We'll be back. Bathroom. Oh, man. Oh. Okay, we're back. We're back. Give me a second to close that. Come on, go away. There we go. We're back. Now, like I said, as an adult, you got to do certain things. You got to pay your bills. You got to pay your taxes. You know, that's just part of life. And one of the best ways to save money is cooking at home. But it really helps if you plan out what you're going to make throughout the week. You need to plan it. So that helps. Now, I like to meal prep, so I can just grab it out of the fridge, heat it up, and eat it throughout the week. And I try to meal prep 2 meals a day for the week. Now, as someone who meal preps, I'll cook a big batch of food 1 day a week. And then I meal prep it out for the rest of the week. And that's fine. I don't mind eating the same thing over and over and over again. But some of my friends who have kids, excuse me, some of my friends that have kids, they put out schedule like a calendar meal prep. Like they plan what they're going to eat throughout the week, what they're going to make, and they go grocery shopping according to that. So if they're going to do goulash one day, uh, meatloaf another, they'll buy stuff to make the meatloaf, to make the goulash, and there's always leftovers, and they can eat the leftovers throughout the week as a meal. Like one of my buddies, his wife, his lunch is usually last night's dinner, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem eating like that, you know? So if you make a plan for what you're going to cook throughout the week, it makes the grocery shopping a hell of a lot easier. But as an adult, you need to learn to make at least 5 dishes. You need to learn to cook 5 things really well. And for me, that's meatloaf, my protein bars, bread pudding. I know how to make a really good bread pudding. Uh, Usually some sort of pasta dish. That's usually easy. And then I have a Moroccan beef that I make that everybody loves. And I don't mind meal prepping that for a week because it tastes good. It's good cold. It's really good hot. But one of the other things I do is I'll make a big batch of breakfast burrito stuff. I'll portion it out, maybe 3 tablespoons of tortilla, freeze them, put them in bags. Once they're frozen, they're golden. You just pull one out of the microwave for 2.5 minutes, and you have a hot breakfast burrito in the morning. Perfect to go. I love doing that. That makes life so much easier in the morning if I have to go somewhere because your boy doesn't always eat breakfast. I don't always eat breakfast. Like most of the time I don't. But it's nice to have a breakfast burrito that I can throw in the microwave if I got to run out the door and I'm kind of hungry. Because sometimes I'm hungry in the morning. Or, like when I get done with dialysis, sometimes I like to throw a breakfast burrito in the microwave and eat it and then go lay down for a couple hours. Because dialysis is hard. It's like running a 4-hour marathon, somebody beating the shit out of you the whole way. But it's nice to have that burrito there in case I'm hungry. Or one of my meal prepped meals, one of my lunches or dinners. You know, I mean, it's always good food. And my roommate loves the Moroccan beef. But to be fair, everyone loves that recipe. It is so good. Or sometimes I'll make chicken katsu curry, you know, and I'll portion it out with one piece of chicken, a cup of cooked rice, and then a half a cup of, no, we're reconnecting, and then a half a cup of the curry, the Japanese style curry with carrots, potatoes, and onion in it. And you throw that in the microwave, and it's fucking amazing. You know, that's always been a crowd pleaser. Or I'll make like for my birthday. I love to cook for my birthday. And since I'm now in a house instead of an apartment, I can have people over. Hey, we're reconnecting still. But what I'll do is, oh hey, we're back. We're live again. Okay. But anyways, since this is being recorded anyways, but what I'll do is I'll make a ton of fajitas for everyone to, come over. Not everyone's gonna eat a bunch of fajita meat, but that's fajitas for like a week afterwards, you don't need to eat like the finest of food in the most expensive restaurant as an adult. You can save yourself a lot of money by learning to cook. And there's so many recipes and channels on YouTube that you can look at and learn how to cook from them that I guarantee you can make some good food. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna food hack it like King Cobra, where he comes up with those horrible fucking burritos. God damn. Like, that dude has the palate of a dead man. Like, I don't know how he can eat half the crap he makes. Like, good lord. The burritos alone are nasty. Or he'll put weird shit in there. You call it a food hack. And it's like, no, that's not a food hack, man. What the hell are you eating? Crab meat on nachos? Ugh. Someone sent him caviar and he put crab meat caviar on nachos. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, my God. Maybe one day I will show you, I'll stream one of my big meal preps. Like when I make the bread pudding, or like probably when I make the breakfast burritos, because that's an involved process and that keeps going. But like the bread pudding, I mix it, I put it in the baking dish, and then I bake it. And then I pull it out, I let it cool, I portion it out. That's not too exciting. The Moroccan beef is all in a slow cooker, and that takes hours to do. Like 6 hours in the crock pot to do. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna subject to that. Now, maybe one day I'll make a video of how to make it and upload it to YouTube. But I'm not, I'm not gonna subject y'all to a 6+ hour live stream of me making Moroccan beef. That seems a bit inhumane. It really does. But the breakfast burritos, it takes about 45 minutes to do it. To make the filling, to wrap them, to put them in the freezer, to pull them out, and put them in bags. That's reasonable to live stream. Might actually enjoy that. But I'm not gonna make y'all watch like me make the Moroccan beef. Although I probably should film it because it is a really, really good recipe. I mean, shit. I kind of want to make Moroccan beef tomorrow. I might actually make Moroccan beef tomorrow. No, no, I can't. I got a lot of shit I have to do in the afternoon. I mean, I mean, yeah, maybe I'll do that next weekend. Yeah, next Saturday I'll make Moroccan beef. Yeah, that actually sounds really, really good. Yeah, or I can make my bratwurst and sauerkraut. That's always good. Hot sauerkraut and bratwurst. Perfect. Ooh, and that's a good one to put in the crock pot. Oh, oh. I forgot to turn on the power strip for the laptop, and it just gave me an alert telling me low battery. That may have been the problem with the connection. We're gonna take a quick break. I need to get something else to drink, but I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Oh, I promise I'm coming back. I've just taken care of something. Okay, we're coming back. Okay, sorry. I had to go get a Sprite. I'm gonna do my little magic trick. Mm, your boy can still do it. Yes, I'm very impressed with myself. Yes, I'm very pleased with myself. And yes, that hurt my fingers. That is not easy to do. I don't care who you are. That is actually painful to do. Excuse me while I get something to clean up my mess. All right. But no, no, I'm still here, but I gotta clean the tape. It's like, you gotta do the messes. I don't like making messes. X, no paper towel action. There. But no, your boy ripped the top off again. That shit hurt. Don't do that at all. Never do run at home. That's never what shit. I had to get something to drink and decided to see if I could still do my old carnival trick of ripping the top off a can, which I did. Shame nobody was here to see it. Oh well, such is life. Excuse me. Ooh. But that goes to show muscle density versus muscle strength. Anyone can, rip the top off a can if they have good muscle density and they know how to do it. And there's a trick to doing it, but it does require a lot of strength because a sealed can is not easy to open. Trust me, it's not. And that did hurt like hell because I just got my finger, got the shit out of it. Well, it's not bleeding, so it's not that bad, but it hurt. Damn, I wish someone was here to have seen that. Oh well, it'll be in the recording. Ah, that actually hurts like fucking hell, but I can still do it, and I'm very pleased with myself that I'm able to still rip the fucking top off a soda can. Sprite. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just really entertained with myself and pleased with myself that I can still do that. Because that's not an easy thing to do. That is not. It's not easy. It is. painful. It does hurt. If you don't know what you're doing, you can actually cut the living shit out of yourself doing that. And there's definitely a technique to it. Yeah, I'm still proud of myself for doing it. Did it on stream too. Ha! Now we have video proof of it. Me ripping the top off a can. Crack open a cold one. I just did. Get my phone out. I'm very pleased with myself that I did that, as you can tell. Oh man, that was that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was definitely a good one. Ripping the top off that can. I have not done that in months. And it felt good to do it. It really did. It felt good to rip the top off the can, and I'm glad. You know, I and again, that's not something I typically do because I don't feel the need to. But I wanted to see if I could do it, and I could. And I'm glad I did it because that shit, like that used to be a thing I do as a party trick, but since I've had to stop working out as much, and I'm on dialysis, your boy's very pleased with himself that he can do it because that that's something I don't know if I'll be able to do this time next year. So at least we got it on camera, right, boys? Oh, well, it is almost time. We got 4 minutes left. Nobody's jumped in chat. No viewers. Nothing. Damn. Oh well, I'm doing it for me. For something to do. And besides, it'll be uploaded to YouTube where it might get 1 or 2 views. I don't know how long somebody will watch it, but hey, we can do it. Plus, when I get home, I can always edit it and get that scene of me ripping that can open. Put that on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, X, whatever they call Twitter, Facebook, all that fun shit. Just showing off that raw strength, that grip strength. That's what it is. Because it's all the forearms. And it's all that grip you got to put into. And you boys got some pretty solid forearms. And before anyone makes a joke, I'm right-handed for certain things. Don't let me be an ambidextrous for you. I'm right-handed for certain things. So let's leave it at that. And I can do it with my right hand. I just I can rip the top off cans with my right hand. Just I like to do it with my left hand because my left hand is my offhand, and I consider that to be more impressive when I can pull it from my left hand because right hand's dominant. But it doesn't matter because that's just how the world goes. Yeah, well, it is what it is. So I keep getting this weird notification on my laptop, and I don't know how to clear it. And nothing I need to worry about, apparently. Oh, it wants me to update. I'll do that later. Sorry, I have my phone connected to my laptop because the laptop can do that. It runs Windows 10 or 11, Windows 11. And apparently I need to update the phone connection app thing, which I'll do later when I get home. So yeah, I'm I'm actually very pleased with myself that I can still do that. Oh, all right. Well, it is almost time. We have less than a minute before I should start packing them up. So, like I've always said, thank you for watching. I love and appreciate those of you that watch. I will never beg for subs. I will never beg for donations because I don't believe those are donations because, I have to pay tax and I'm not a 503-C, so I'm not a nonprofit. I can't take donations. But I'll never beg for money. I will never beg for subs. I will never beg for bits. And I will never beg you to buy my merch. I'll never beg you for that. All I ask is that if you like what you see on here on Twitch, drop a follow. Following's free. If you're seeing this on YouTube, feel free to subscribe on YouTube because that's free. Because I'm not like DSP. I know. It's a low blow. But unlike him, I didn't buy a condo I can't afford. And I didn't waste thousands of dollars on a wrestling gachapon mobile game. Like I said, I'm a middle-aged man. I'm 40 years old. I have my own full-time job. I have a side hustle, and I have a leather business. I'm doing good. But feel free to follow. Following's always free. And on that terrible, terrible disappointment, I love y'all. Thank you for watching, and I hope y'all have a great week. Bye.